What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Exploring Investments with Justin. And in today's video, I'm going to be covering Boeing stock because this has gone up quite a bit over the last month or so. And as always, be sure to let me know in the comments section if there's a specific stock that you guys want me to cover, because I'd be more than happy to make a video for it. So without wasting any more time, let's jump right into it. So right now, Boeing has been talked about quite a bit due to the recent rise in the stock that we've seen. So over the last 1 month, this stock was up at one point over 90%, but is still up well over 100% from the March lows that we saw, where this stock was trading at around $89 a share. And currently, Boeing sits at just under $190 a share. Now, I did start a position in this company recently, buying in at about $140 a share. And before I give you my opinion on whether or not I think Boeing is still a good stock to buy at the current levels, let's first quickly cover what it is exactly that they do. And if you want to see a more in-depth review of this company, I'll add a link above to my 3 stocks I'm watching video, where I go more in depth on what it is that Boeing does. So Boeing has 2 main sides to their business, and in 2019 made about $77 billion in total revenue. On one side, they produce the aircrafts that most major airlines use, and on the other, they have the defense, space, and security segment, which creates the aircraft and security systems that the US government uses. So their commercial aircraft segment accounts for about 42% of their revenue, while the defense, space, and security side accounts for 34%. So about 75% of their total revenue comes from these 2 segments. Now, the reason this is important is because even with the drop-off in air travel and aircraft demand, they are still getting billions of dollars from the government contracts that they have with the United States. We can see here that Boeing is the 2nd largest contractor by revenue and won over $20 billion in contracts in 2017, with its biggest government customers being the Department of Defense, all branches of the US military, NASA, and the Department of Homeland Security. So even with the slowdown in demand for commercial aircraft, they still have that 34% of revenue coming from this segment, with orders coming in at around $6 billion in Q1 of this year. Now, personally, I think Boeing is still a buy, even at these levels. We can see here that over the last 3 years, they have consistently traded between $300 and $400 a share. And like I mentioned, they're currently trading below $200 a share. So this tells me that for a long time, investors were willing to pay $350+ for a share of Boeing stock. Now, obviously, revenues and net income will be hit hard by the global issue, but I do believe they will eventually return to the levels they were once at. In their most recent earnings, they noted that even with the global issue, they still had roughly $350 billion in backlog for their commercial aircraft and another $65 billion in backlog for the defense, space, and security segment. So in total, they have over $400 billion in backlog, which should be more than enough to get them through this downturn. Now, it could take 1 year to return back to normal levels, or it could take 5. But if you're willing to wait and invest in them for the long term, then I do think at these levels, this is still a good buy. And I myself just added more to my position last week when it was down 10%. And one thing to note is that as airlines start to have more customers and there's more people flying, the demand for Boeing aircrafts will go up and return back to normal demand. And to be honest, this is a company that the government would not let fail, even in these tough times, because they're too crucial to the defense of the United States to let them fail. So like I said, I do see Boeing stock getting back to those $350 levels. Now, like I said, it might take 5 years or it could happen in the next year, but I do think it will happen eventually, and that's why I'm continuing to build a bigger position in this company. So make sure to let me know what your thoughts are on Boeing in the comments section. And with that being said, I just want to say thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.